All right, let's get into part two here. This is adjustable right here on this side. So this can do cathedral and square ports. So if you buy one of these, make sure it's got that just for shits and grins. Even if you only plan on doing one or the other, it's worth it in the future. You never know. That right there is with the valves removed. That's all it is. Bolts here. This compresses. And then you're able to knock that out. And right now you can see that this thing has a lot of funk in it. That's normal. Now the thing is, you have to realize with these compared to a cathedral port, see how pretty this is? There's a name for this thing. I can't remember what it is because my brain just doesn't work that well. It travels too fast for that. So this right here, this is all teardropped around real nice. That is a massive improvement over the cathedral stuff because it did not have that. It looked more like the exhaust port on the intake side. So you were able to get in here and you could grind this out here, and we'd work this around the valve guide. But you see they did most of that homework for you already. You can see even back here, it's got the little sharp edge there. So they did a lot of work to make these heads be a bad bitch. There's guys who will say cathedral only, it's the way, cathedral mafia. And then there's guys that say these are the best things since sliced bread. I like these on anything that's a 4-inch bore or bigger, because factory bone stock, they're flowing over 300 CFM. You don't have to have shit ported to get it there. There's no cathedrals that flow anywhere more than like 250-ish. These are over 300. So box stock, these are king. Cut and dry. If nobody likes it, that's too bad. These just flow more air, period. Now, cathedral works very well. It's got its uses. I've used the shit out of them, especially on 5.3s and stuff. And some of my 6-liter stuff because I didn't have these, and that was before these were even made, I think. But yeah, so right here, this is, they're doing you a favor, factory. This is already prettied in these. So that's an issue you get into, knowing that, you can't do a ton of shit. So I'll probably clean this up right here around this and just lay it down to the guide, just because, it doesn't take me much effort. But we'll keep going from here. All right, not sure how good this is going to show up, but this is your exhaust port, obviously. See this little guy right here? You don't mess with that guy very much at all. You can clean it up a little bit, but that right there, you have that on the intake and exhaust. That's where the support is for your valve spring. Do not get rid of that. You can see how on the other one that I did a little work to clean it up, but I'm in the process of all this crap right here. See all that? Like, the camera doesn't quite pick that up. Kind of, sort of. You see that? That's just rough, nasty shit. Right there, you got some casting. Like, this is the stuff we're getting rid of. Like, oh, this is all junk casting flash. That one, see if that one's showing up. There you go. So that's just garbage, okay? This is the type of shit you're trying to clean up. This is not an advanced porting thing. This is just cleaning up the heads, doing a little bit of work. All right, see this right here, how this tip fits right there. So here's the other side. See how that doesn't fit there? Well, this is onto one that's being worked on that I stopped to start recording. Same thing, it does not fit. But when you get over here, this one, this is what I like to do to the exhaust side on these. Now, look at that. See how that's fitting in there? You gotta be careful, don't wanna get overzealous, but this is helping with flow, all right? It's not like it's gonna give you 500,000 horsepower, but this is part of what I do, getting this to where it makes a smoother transition to where exhaust can run out. The saying is on exhaust, you can port that shit to a mirror finish so you get the most out of it. So I don't go mirror finish because I don't have enough time in my life to give a shit to go that far. But I do just clean it up with cartridge rolls. Y'all see further on down. But that's just this view. I'll keep going once I flip to the other side, explain some more things and how I do shit. All right, I wasn't gonna get stopped here yet, but I had to notice and point out and show you this heap of shit right here that is part of the casting. Don't think it's showing up. There we go, right there. That is just a lump of shit. I mean, you can see like the sand casting on that was just garbage on this end. I don't know how or why, but that's just, this cylinder here was definitely not flowing as much as the others. It would be measurable. It wouldn't be some significant thing, but that's the shit that you need to get out if you have that, for sure. So I'm 75% done with what I've shown you already on one head. Have to do the other, then I'll flip it over, get the other side, then keep going. But yeah, that is You see where I hit it at first and I stopped. I was like, I need to show this shit. That's bad. All right, not the best view with the lighting and whatnot, but you can see this side. We've already seen what happens up here. This is the bottom side. All I do is clean all this up, and I will radius this down a little bit to shorten the short side. Just a touch. You know, it's not enough to probably make a big deal, but it's worth 1 CFM among all this. That's cool. Just don't get too carried away with that shit. Just, you know, do a couple passes when you're cleaning all this up. Just do a couple passes right here. Whenever you flip the head over, you can do that side as well. But yeah, that's that side. Now I'm fixing to roll it over and work the bowl. All right, I got the light situated as best as I can. You can see this is after flipping it over. You see this side right here. I radius this down, match that. Is it significant? Probably not. And I finished flowing this out. So this is what it looks like right there. I did kind of get into this a little bit. That's not going to hurt anything right there. Otherwise, you see the difference between this, how it's all worked around. I still need to come in right here and clean this up a bit. But that's what it looks like before, after you've already done the other stuff. So that's it. This right here, very, very important. This measurement inside this throat of the bowl from here to here is a specific measurement. Man, what is it, like 89-ish, 90% here, like right up underneath it to the actual seat. If you measure here to here and then the seat, whatever you get it at, whenever you start getting above 90%, 91-ish percent from here to here, that's kind of your max if you actually measure that. I don't mess with that much because you can really just mess shit up. Like I said, I'm not a pro with this. I've just done it a lot. All my flow numbers I've ever tested, the few sets that I've had, always the least I've ever picked up is about 20 CFM per port. Picked up to, you know, 40-ish or more on cathedral port stuff. But very important. This, like I said, right here, right below this seat, if you round this seat to where it matches that more, you'll get some insane numbers if you go to like some lift that's really not even something you use, especially street, like 900 thousandths, 1 inch, like that right there. Like I said, this, so stay out of that. But this right here, you can work this around, make that to where it transitions. So when that exhaust is forcing out, it's forcing out smoother, has less effort, less drag, because things aren't smooth. And you'll see what this looks like once I get the cartridge rolls after it, once it's all to that point. All right, lighting sucks. This is after everything else is done except for this side. And all you do is clean that up. That's all we're doing is just cleaning all that rough shit up. We'll go back and hit it with the cartridge later. But this right here, like I said, I was working on getting this short side trimmed down a little bit. So I do, while I'm at it, trim a little bit. I mean, I'm not measuring anything. I'm just doing each one, going like, you know, coming through and clean it up 3 times on each one. So that's just moving it down a little bit, nothing extreme. That way you don't get into trouble or go too far and fuck nothing up. But that's where we're at there. I'll finish this one and flip this dude over and go to the intake side and start all over. All right, dirty, filthy intake side. You can see some stuff from me already working on this other one. This is super basic. You are literally cleaning this up. All in here. You're not doing shit else. You're not trying to modify anything. Just all these walls. You can go straight to a cartridge roll. If you want to, there's absolutely nothing wrong with going with one of these and just cleaning that up. You know, like it's okay. You just, all you're doing is cleaning up the flashing. You're not doing a bunch of crazy shit in there. This is the intake port. Now, if you have a good set of gaskets and the intake to match, you can usually, you know, put that gasket on here and you can match it, you know, and open that up, and that does help, but it's not some significant, oh my God, I made like 20 more horsepower from that. That's not happening. But that's all I'm doing is this. Next stage, I will do the top. I'll show you that. And then that's pretty much it. You're just cleaning that up, and then later on I'll go back with the cartridge roll, make it pretty, prettier. It'll be beautiful and shiny, but it'll be cleaned up, not have all these skip marks from me going back and forth with this thing, because you're essentially literally just going back and forth, taking your time, adjust your speed, trying to keep things even. You're not trying to hog this shit out. You're just cleaning it up. So don't get carried away on this shit. Just make it uniform. Just clean up the sand cast that you have here. See, that's what it looks like factory, is just a sand casting. And it's not bad, but you just smooth it out a little more. And the overall grand scheme of things is clean this up. It helps out a little bit. clean around the valve in there, you know, like, I can see it with my eye not there. There you go, see that little guy. Clean that up, you know, like you're just cleaning this shit up. You can get in there around that throat and just blend things a little bit, but I told you don't get carried away with that. The intake side is going to gain some flow doing this, but it's not dramatic. These, like, the most I've seen these heads usually say they flow is like 600 lift is around 330-ish at the peak. Usually it's more like, you know, 3 teens, close to 320. And aftermarket hogged out CNC, I think for GM Performance parts, they flow like 360. And you got to remember, that's not just the port job, that's a fucking valve job. This comes, I think, I don't know if they're like a 3-angle valve job from the factory. You do a 5-angle, they put a competition cut in it. That helps seal the deal on getting your head's max flow. So if you're not going to do that, just remember, you're going to gain something from this. Don't go fucking stupid. You're going to make gains, but the icing on the cake to spend money is a valve job. They're usually not cheap because a 5-angle valve job just isn't a cheap thing. You're doing 5 cuts instead of 3. So keep that in mind, all right? All right, we're starting to get into the funner stuff here. We actually do get to take some stuff out. Now, that little guy right there, that's your friend. I'm trying to get that thing to focus. So that right there, don't do anything to that if you can. Smooth it out, it's fine. Do not grind that out. That again, like the exhaust side, this is what's underneath your valve spring. Go too far on that, you can crack, blow through, screw yourself, whatever. Same thing with this little guy. While it's debatable, some people say it's not crucial, that right there is one of the bosses for your rocker stand. So for the rockers, so same thing, you can clean it up, don't eliminate it. So that's where we're at before. And see this little guy right here? That, on the cathedrals, I will get rid of that entirely. You'll have a hole in there. That's where the actual, what is it? Oh, dang it. Having a moment here. All right, that's where our rocker stud is. All right, so yeah, sorry about that. Some misinformation. Anyway, this guy right here is for the valve cover. This is for your actual rocker stud. I've never had those leak. I do dial that back, and I'll give you an example. This is one that I'm already in now, so doing the same thing. You see I have hit this. I will clean it up a little bit more. Same thing, like that's been touched, but I'm not eliminating that. Same thing, smoothing all this out. I do focus on all these little corners here to make them uniform. Same thing here, but you can see that guy right there is starting to go away. That's as far as I'll take it. If you want me to show you that one. And in this view over here, you can see it's very pronounced in comparison compared to this. So just for reference, yeah, you can take some of that out. You can probably take all of it out. I've never had one cause me problems. Some say that you can have issues with oil pulling through. I never have, but I'm gonna just torque my shit to spec and send it. So that's where we're at now. Get done with all these, I will flip it over and start working the bowl. All right, intake bowls, I'm doing the easier side of the two since it's just a sharp radius, and you can see you can also access right there. That is your little hump. You can actually finish cleaning that up a little bit on this side. And there's after I've been in there digging around. Bowl blending, if you've ever heard the term, that's where you get in here and you just smooth all this stuff out, and you can match this radius to here a little bit if it's rough. LS castings are really not bad. There's a little bit of a pickup here. Like I said, you have to be careful with that. You don't want to fuck around with this because you can really hurt things if you don't know what you're doing. Because if you have a tool, you can specifically measure the throat to the seat, and you can gauge guys that'll go 92% of what the valve seat is that know what they're doing will gain flow. 93, 94, some of them get crazy with it. They know what they're doing. So you got to be very, very careful to not fuck around with this shit. Do what I did, clean it up, don't bother with nothing. You can get in here and do a couple passes on the short side to shorten that up a little bit, and it's not going to hurt shit. It'll gain you a couple CFM, I'm sure. But be careful, don't spend a lot of time in there. Do you like 2 passes, maybe 3, clean it up? That's it. Don't get carried away. Like I said, I don't consider myself anything but a beginner, and I've been doing this shit for 20 some odd years to my own shit, and I've never had a problem. I always picked up flow. So this is just basics To do this right, you need a fucking flow bench to flow each and every single one of these to match it. I'm not racing a pro mod. This is going on that truck, and it's going to be shooting for 600 rear wheel, nothing special. I'm not shooting for perfection. I'm just shooting for that little extra 20-ish to 30-ish horsepower I hope I can get to help me break 600 wheel. I'm not going above and beyond. On a natural aspirated setup, this might be worth 10 to 15 horsepower. On the boosted setup, 25 to 30. You know, it could be more. I don't know, but you know, I wish I could do a before and after, but I can't. But this is where I'm at now. Eventually, I'll get all these done, get that one done, flip it, and then we get to work the intake bowl, which is going to be basic as well because it's already sharp and teardrop like I do with a cathedral port. All right, moving right along. Here's our intake side. On this side of the bowl, as you can see, like I said, this right here is already done like a teardrop. The cathedrals come across here on one side, and I think shelf lower on the other, and I usually cut that out and down to improve flow, but clearly they took a hint from all the aftermarket and went and did that shit themselves. So this is what it looks like before. You see nothing's been touched here. This is from doing the other side, working up, and now this is where we're at now. So I will get in here and do what I can to get close to this. And remember, I'm just cleaning this up. I'm not taking shit off this if I can help it. The cartridge rolls will come in here and I'll try to smooth out the rest of this shit. We're just trying to make this transition smoother. That's all we're doing. We're not getting fucking crazy. Don't dick around and be a hero and try to reshape this shit. And like I said, this throat diameter here, if you measure from here to here, like I said, and then go below it, slightly below, that right there gives you a measurement that's going to usually be around 88 to 89% of this. And to mess with that and get it to where it's, you know, 90, 91, 92%, you need to know what the fuck you're doing. So don't be a hero. Don't play around. Clean this shit up. Keep it simple. So I'm going to do all these and that one. And then I'll probably just polish all these and then just show you what's done, because there's no, you see what this looks like now. I don't have a reason to go into showing you before and after whenever. There it is when it's all polished, boom, done. It's a little bit of before and after. That's after doing some work there, and this is what it looks like after it's getting some polishing done. Has a ways to go, but you can tell already with minimal effort so far from this to looking like that. It's starting to get cleaned up. It's gonna look a little better, and hopefully help flow just a touch more. All right, at this point, I'm calling it a night. I got this side done and all the intakes. I need to flip it and do the others. I was starting to do the exhaust ports, but my light broke and I got to get up at 4 in the morning. So I give up till tomorrow. But yeah, there's your just general idea. It ends up being clean, moves air easy, opens things up. Like I said, all I did is clean up around here. And you know, when you do that, you can make these things a little sharper while you're doing it. Like just cleaning it, just don't go out of your way. Push through and do it, man. It's not rocket science, but you can easily overdo it and fuck it up. I find doing what I said, it's the way to go. Less is more. You're gonna get plenty done. If you want to get the tools and learn how to do that and measure the throat and all that differential between the valve seat and the bowl and all that under the area, go ahead and do it. Get your shit, start doing it. You can even make a flow bench. I don't flow bench anything because I know I usually gain 20 to 40 CFM. 40-ish would be on a cathedral port, and 20-ish, a little over 20 on a square port like this on the intake side. The exhaust side, that's where I need the help at on these anyway. Like I said, that can be anywhere up to 30 CFM, which is significant for the exhaust, and that helps what I'm doing, especially naturally aspirated and a little bit of boost. It shines hard with the boost as well. Usually things come on a little stronger, a little lower. So definitely worth it for doing something for free, but I have about 4 hours in these and probably need another 2 to get them done. So 6 hours is where I'm at. A new guy, take you 7 or 8, but if you're tinkering around, want something to do, hope this helps you guys out.